Hi, welcome to Powerhouse. Joining us today is Jocelyn Luko-Sandstrom, global speaker, mentor, and founder of Spiritual Billionaire. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor. I love your podcast.
Thank you for joining us and being on the podcast. Always love chatting with you. We've met many years ago in Hong Kong where you have a different career, but it's so exciting to see what you're doing now and hear about how you got there. You started as a model in Hong Kong and a host. Tell us how you transitioned from all the different careers to the current one.
It started in 2003 when my mom first got sick. I knew there was a holistic way to help her. So I went into mindset, reprogramming, NLP, energy work, and quantum physics to support her to get better without the Western side effects.
Wow.
And once I was able to help her to do that, I also then applied the same things to my career. And that's what was able to make my career take off. And when I was able to create that, like a career beyond my wildest dreams, it also then became my passion because I was like, if we could do this, imagine if I could share this with other people and what we could do together when we shift. And so it became my passion to really support other people. So even though I was still modeling in Hong Kong, I was doing this on the side.
Right.
So I worked out of a wellness center because it was just my passion. So it was like my part-time hobby. And I worked out of a wellness center called Sanctuary. Loved it. Seeing the shifts, seeing I could make a difference, lit me up working with people, seeing transformations in their lives, careers, relationships, health. I knew I wanted to turn it into a bigger business. In 2016, my grandpa passed. A week and a half later, my grandma passed. A week later, my mom had a stroke and my life flipped upside down. I flew back and forth from Hong Kong to Hawaii every 2 weeks with her because she had lost mobility on the left side of her body.
Oh my gosh.
I flew back and forth every 2 weeks and it wasn't sustainable. Luckily, my husband agreed and we moved home 4 months later. I thought I'd be coming back to Hong Kong, still modeling, still doing, my new business on the side. I had no idea the protests would happen. I had no idea COVID would happen. And so basically a career that I had built for 20 years, I couldn't fly back and forth for it. I was really here starting a full reboot. And not just that, I came home, I was grieving. All the childhood stuff I thought I cleared, there was a deeper layer that surfaced while I was in Hawaii. I became my best client. Everything I learned helped me through that. It was the darkest 6 years of my life because not only did my whole family completely flip upside down. My career, I had to start from scratch and had 5 miscarriages. It was thing after thing, but it was all to make me stronger. Every time something happened, I knew it was happening for me, not to me. That's the belief I cultivated. And so once I shifted that, everything became my superpower. Every time there was a crisis or a trauma, I turned it into my superpower. And through that, I've completely shifted my life, all my desires, everything I want. Everything I ever dreamt of, I get to live now without compromise, without suppressing. And it came from those 6 years of shadow. I always kept telling myself I'm becoming a diamond each time. And then I became my best client. I launched an expo in Hawaii because I wanted to bring this to people in Hawaii. I also launched my coaching business and now I'm also now turning it into a global platform.
Wow. Yes. And I'm looking forward to talk more about that. I do want to ask, what are some of the first steps you went through to turn it into that positive energy that you were talking about?
That first step is really grounding in the belief that this is happening for me, not to me. The minute I grounded in that, I was no longer the victim to everything that was going on. No matter how dark it was, no matter how hard it was, I knew there was a blessing in disguise. I would focus on that. After I had my son, I went into postpartum and he had colic and there was it was just and then he wouldn't sleep. So I'd wake up 12 times a night while dealing with all of this. Sometimes I felt like I was in this deep, deep hole and I was just clawing to get out and I'd fall back down, knowing that everything is temporary as well too. And this is happening for me, not to me, meaning that this is happening to bring me to something more powerful and better than I could ever imagine if I lean into it. And if I don't shrink to it, every time something happened, I would say in my head, this is happening for me, not to me. So what's the blessing? What's my superpower? Every miscarriage was a blessing because every time I looked at it, I was able to see where I was out of alignment, leaking my energy that caused my body to not be able to hold it. right?
Mm.
And so each time I got clearer and clearer on, I had a lot of codependent relationships. I had a lot of overgiving that I was doing, and I was bleeding myself dry. So I would pull my energy back into myself, come home to my truth,
Mhm.
not what everybody else wanted from me, but who I truly was and what I could live in alignment with instead of being constantly burnt out. I was burnt out all the time.
So many people depend on you and need you. And of course, you wanted to be the good, daughter, the good, of course, right? And then so you
Yeah.
want to give all that to your family.
And we
That
forget
is,
about ourselves.
yeah.
My boundaries were non-existent.
It must be so hard to say, no, I can't do it.
Each time I got stronger boundaries, I got clear on my truth. Instead of living up to everybody else and what everybody else wants,
Yeah.
each time I said, okay, what do I truly desire? What does success look like to me? What life do I want to live that I don't need to escape from? Because I used to always need a vacation. I used to fantasize after I moved home to Hawaii about booking a hotel room, going to the hotel room by myself and just sleeping, doing
Vacation.
nothing. Of course, it doesn't make the pain go away. Pain is temporary. Suffering is something we create. I made a commitment to not turn my pain into suffering, to turn my pain into my superpower. And that's blossomed into what it's become now.
It's so hard still, right? It's also years of practice and you kind of know the techniques. So I think that's the what you start off teaching or consulting with others. And then you start developing your business. How do you turn that into concrete steps in building your coaching business?
Well, I had no idea that it existed 2 years ago, basically. I just was always doing one-on-one sessions and then teaching clients the modalities that I would use. I didn't know about the coaching, mentoring industry. So when I learned about it, I just applied everything that I did that I used to make my last career successful to this. One thing I just want to say to people is that you don't start out here, right? Like the first miscarriage, I was a complete mess. Do you know what I mean? It's human nature, right? Each time you get stronger, each time you respond instead of react, each time you make that baby step and eventually you become a black belt. I'm still not a black belt. I don't even know if we become a black belt in our lifetime, but
Right.
each time you get stronger. When I discovered the coaching industry, it was such a gift. I've lived in 12 countries and I love Hawaii, but it's isolating, especially after COVID. You realize how isolated you are in the middle of an ocean. The coaching industry allowed me to reach the world. I restructured everything and now I have clients around the world, which is the natural progression now to build a platform to support people even more.
What are the main challenges in between? I mean, it's not easy, right? Building your own business and as you said, from scratch to completely doing a new place. You're from Hawaii, but new in terms of like the career wise. Building the client base, that's difficult. Sometimes it's not the work that's hard. It's really just marketing it and getting the clients. And how do you build all the way up till this platform?
I would say the biggest thing is it's getting out of the head. Because if you have a desire or a vision, something that you want to bring into this reality, to me, if you play in quantum physics, past, present, future is in the now. So the visions that you're seeing, you know how you close your eyes and you see the future. That's just a future memory, just like you can close your eyes and see a past memory. In quantum physics, it's all in the now. You're tapping into the future instead of the past. If you have these visions and desires, to me, it's already done in the quantum field. It's up to you to get out of your head, take aligned action, make bold moves, speak your truth, and just do it no matter what it looks like. There's been so many times that I've failed. So many times I've sold something and nobody showed up, but you teach it like they're there. Anthony Robbins, that sold his first program, booked out the center, and it was his main program that he sells now. But the first one he sold, not one person bought. And so instead of giving up, he paid his friends with pizza and soda. And he said, sit here for 4 days so I could teach you this and I'll give you pizza and soda. Because he knew what he was bringing into this reality. Nothing was going to stop him. Even if it looked like a failure, nothing was going to stop him. And so there was times where that happened to me. And I'm like, if Anthony Robbins can do it, I can do it. I'm all in. So I'm just going to do this anyways. And I'll teach it as if there's a million people. Each time you build your resilience, your strength, your knowing, the wobble goes away because the only thing slowing things down is the wobble. The only thing leaking our energy is the wobble. It's the fears, worries, doubts, anxieties, the pushing, proving, pleasing, the achieving, the measuring, right? All of that causes burnout. If you just woke up every single day and you're like, okay, this dream that I have already happened, I saw it. I closed my eyes and I could feel it. Therefore, it's already happened in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how would I show up every day as that person? If I show up every day as that person without doubts, it's inevitable. But if I doubt it, then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like sending mixed signals. It's like, yes, I want that, but I'm afraid this
Mm.
pulls it back. And then you do this and you like this. You're doing the cha-cha. And then
Right.
you wonder why things get crunchy. It's
Right.
because we're so afraid of failing and we
Mm.
just want to succeed. The failures, like those miscarriages, made me who I am. Every time no one showed up, I
Mm-hmm.
had to get strong and I say, this is not me. That's my ego getting bruised, but it's not me. I'm bigger than
Right.
this. I'm not my ego. Nothing's going to take me out of the game. I had to
Right.
get back up. Now, when I launch, I don't have those same fears. Now it's just like a launch after launch. Terrified and
Yeah.
can't sleep. It's a head game.
Yeah, a lot of it's ourselves and it's hard to get over. We have success, but then we also have things that didn't work out. So it's great what you mentioned. You have a system that obviously you're building to kind of visualize it and the steps towards making it like closer, like closing the gap.
Each failure is a redirect. When I tune into my truth and I trust myself, you cultivate that deeply every day on little things so that the big things you trust yourself on, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
when you do that, not all the time is it going to take you to places that are going to work. Our
Mm-hmm.
brain so-called labeling work.
Right.
Sometimes it looks like a failure, but really you
Right.
had to go through that to grow through that to become the
Mm-hmm.
next person that could take that next step.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get out of the way of failure or success and just know it's step after step, growth after growth, it doesn't matter as long as I'm taking a step, I'll get there as long as I never stop. It's not as scary. But if you're scared of making a mistake, failing or losing everything, then every step becomes this big, massive milestone. And then a lot of people freeze, right? And
Mm.
don't
Yeah.
take it and they do busy work. That's where we get stuck. When creating a business, especially coaching and mentoring, you have to be a good marketer. You
Yeah.
also have to learn a whole other skill. You
Yeah.
have to fully speak your truth because all the information is out there. People aren't wanting to work with you because of the information. They want to work with you because of who you are, what you
Mm.
embody, what you bring to the table. They align to you. It's how you deliver the truth, your
Mm.
truth, that aligns with them. For me, I didn't speak my truth for the longest time in the coaching industry. It was more than a year and a half where I
Mm-hmm.
finally put on something that was my full truth. I was fed up trying to make it work and not getting traction. I was saying what everybody else was saying, making it easy for people to hear. I didn't want to trigger anybody, push any buttons, wasn't gaining traction. And finally, I was like, forget it. I want to put this on and speak my truth.
Yeah.
And so I put that on. I was hoping for 100 people to register, to sign up. And we ended up having 989 people register for the event,
Wow.
for this online summit. But it came from me speaking my truth. The
Yeah.
first time I didn't filter myself, that's the time it grew. Your truth is what people are waiting for, not what everybody else is saying.
Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
That was the online course summit you put together, right? And
Yeah.
you start from one-on-one and you have the in-person seminar workshop and then going to online community. What are the steps to do that? You want to do this online summit versus joining other conferences
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I still love being a speaker at other conferences. I still love joining other people's events, but there's always been a passion for me to put on events.
Yeah.
When I went to Nepal with my husband, we were inspired to open a school there.
Yeah.
That was the
Wow.
first time I put on an event in Hong Kong. I had something that inspired me enough to get over the fear, and we raised 20,000 US dollars to open the school and keep it running
Wow.
for a couple years. I realized I liked putting on events because I was inspired by something that helped me to get over the fear. So the reason why I was inspired, because we went to Nepal, our trek guide, it was his dream to open the school because he came from a school, a village that didn't have electricity. He didn't get to go to school. And he knew that it was every child's right for an education. He was 24 years old. He was being a trek guide and he doesn't make much money. And he'd take half of his money and put it in a bank account for his parents and for him to live off of. And he'd send money home to his parents. And then the other half he'd put in a bank account to raise money to open a school. And he'd carry his business plan around in a Ziploc. And I was like, if he can do this, There is no reason why I can't put on an event in Hong Kong. How do you talk yourself into these things to then make the bold moves that are going to get you over your fears? So after that, I knew I could put on events. We were putting on events to raise money every year. When I moved home, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I did everything. This is what I talk about when people say failing and trying different things. I had a career for 20 years that I built up to the top. I had stability there. Then I came home and that got taken from me. And I was like, holy crap, like now I got to figure out what I want to do. So I went into residential property management, discovered I didn't like that, went into commercial real estate, did marketing, then shifted out, did a picnic luxury business in Hawaii with boho designs. I was still doing sessions on the side the whole time, trying to find my main thing. And I didn't know what that was. I burnt out because I was just doing too many sessions just to pay the bills. Then I said, I want to put on an event and support other people. And I decided to do a full on expo. But people were like, oh, why don't you just put on a small one? I'm like, no, I don't go small. I go like big. Right. And so I decided to put on an expo at the Glaisdale Center. And the only reason I was able to do that was because I did events in Hong Kong. But it still scared the crap out of me because now I'm putting on a huge expo, not an event for a charity. So many times where I'd break down and cry and say, what the heck am I doing? And then songs would get me through it. Like there's certain songs that would come on and I would just play it over and over and over again. And there was one song about like daydream. There was a line in there, it's like, if it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. And so I was like, that's how I know I'm on the right track because I'm scared. Completely scared. And then it ended up turning out we had over 900 people attend and everyone loved it. And so that gave me the strength to put on the next one and go bigger every time. And that's just my new normal. Anything you've done, the first time is scary. After that, it's like, okay, this is just what I do now.
That's so awesome. So maybe we can talk about your new platform.
Thanks. I realized I wanted to support more people. I could only reach a certain amount through coaching. I was thinking about it for so long, and it wasn't until I went to speak in Paris at the Conscious Leaders Summit there. They were part of the big Change Now event at the Grand Palais. There was over 40,000 attendees. I was standing there and I'm like, oh my God, like I want to put something on like this for what I do, like my business. I want to bring it to more people. It has changed my life, my family's life, and my clients' lives. And to me, I see us creating magic on earth by transforming the world from the inside out. Be the change you want to see. I knew if I was going to do this, it'd have to be bigger. And then it hit me to create a platform like a cross between Gaia, Mind Valley, Headspace, and Calm, but with my own voice, all the speakers and mentors that inspire me. Because I love all those platforms, but they're not all the things that like really light me up and the things that have made a big impact on my life. And there's so many mentors and speakers and practitioners that not many people know about. I wanted to put something together that everybody could access. Eventually I can put on something at the Grand Palais. So one day we're going to be talking and we're like, remember that time?
Yes. Oh, that's so amazing. And congratulations on having that thought and acting on it.
Acting on it. That was another thing that got me through it. Disney got rejected 33 times. Before the 34th time, he got accepted for the loan. I was thinking on the third time, would I keep going? On the 15th time, would I keep going? On the 20th time, would I keep going? On the 33rd time, what would my family think? What would I think? I've gone to these banks, been rejected, and now I'm coming back again. Like that's the only difference between the people that actually bring their visions into reality and the ones that dream about it is that are you resilient enough to do it, take that step, no matter how crazy it seems?
What are some of the hard steps?
Being bold enough to email the people you think is crazy, being bold enough to reach out to brand partners, inspire you and not think, oh, why would they want to join me? You have been building things your whole life. There's no reason why you can't do it and they can. They believe they can. Those are the biggest blocks, building the platform, building the app. That's a challenge in itself as well too, but we're so lucky now because now the technology, you know, anybody can make an app now. Before it was so hard and we don't realize how spoiled we are. You know, the other things is the beliefs like, okay, now I'm going to do this and I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to show up every single day and pour love into this, knowing that if I pour love into this and I do it into alignment, the results and the money are a byproduct of
Yeah.
the service that I'm providing instead of what's my ROI? How much am I going to make by this point, by this point, by this, all of those things that just stress us out and leak our energy. And so it's just every single day I have to pull my energy back in. Where am I leaking energy? Where am I feeling pressure? And how do I pull it in so I can actually do the stuff? When I feel pressure, I shut down, get really tired and have brain fog causing it. The other is figuring out how you're going to record. There's all the logistical things and how you're going to set up the accounts to pay people and all of those things. So there's a lot of logistics, but they're just tasks if you don't put meaning behind it. It's just a
So
task.
in the grand scheme of things,
I was going from all these different careers, right? And I went to put on the expo, I went into coaching, put on the summit, then I went into speaking. There were times where I'm going from one to the other and I'm like, oh, what are people going to think if I start another one? And if I do this now, and they're going to think, oh, she just keeps bouncing around and she doesn't know what she's doing. But really, all of those things came together for this platform. Every single one, from working in the corporate so I could understand the way corporations run and the politics behind it, to putting on the events, doing all of those things, my modeling career, my acting career, everything came together. Every time you think it wasn't working, it was you were meant to take a piece of this and a piece of this and a piece of this, and then all the puzzles come together. There's one pivotal moment completely changed my life. I decided to reprogram myself to be the lucky one because I didn't win things. I had to work. Why is everything so hard and such a struggle? I'm tired of this. Where is this coming from? So I went to reprogram it and I discovered it's because if it was easy, I didn't earn it. Every time someone's like, oh, you're just lucky, I'm like, no, I had to do this and then it happened. I had to prove I was worthy. I didn't feel worthy. So I created all of this so that I could feel accomplished, so I could feel like I could prove to people, and so they would value. And I realized I don't care what they think. I'll be like, yeah, I am the lucky one. If you want to know the secret, I'll tell it to you. From that point on, my whole life changed. I made a lot of decisions. I had been given a gift from a client, a gift card for 4 seasons. And the old me who didn't have boundaries was like, okay, good. I'm going to take my whole family to dinner and celebrate. This was right before Christmas and I was exhausted. Christmas is it's a lot. If I do that, I'm going to be drained even more because I'm not giving myself a break. So I said, how about I just use this to treat myself with a spa instead, recharge my battery so I have more to give to my family instead of giving when I'm already depleted. I indulged in myself, which was the first decision I made different than ever before. I felt so guilty, but for me first, because I can't help anybody if I'm burnt out and sick. I went in with that mindset. By the time I got home, I drove into the driveway, I opened my phone, my friend texted me and she's like, oh my God, Jocelyn, you just won a brand immersion with our mentor worth over $10,000. And I was like, what? No, she pulled that 2 weeks ago and I didn't win. She pulled again and you won. I had to watch till the end and I won. And after that, everything became lucky. I'll be standing in line with my friend. The line's long and we're late. And I'm like, it'll work out because I'm the lucky one. Someone taps at my shoulder and says, hey, you want to check out over here? And they open a register for us. My friend's like, see, that's why I hang out with you. These things just happen all the time. My husband and I were going to a restaurant and it was a holiday. And he's like, there's no way you're going to get a reservation. And I'm like, of course I am. In my reality, I'm the lucky one. So we're going to get a seat. We show up, get a table, and we get seated right away. That doesn't happen all the time, but I'm neutral because if it doesn't happen, I know I'll figure something else out. I don't care because I don't put so much meaning on it. From that point on, the weather changes for me. All these incredible things. It's because I've cultivated that belief. Cultivate your belief. Your brain will validate everything you believe. If you can just look at your life and say, what are the things that I'd like to change? Look at all of them and then look at the belief behind it. I used to always believe I could make a lot of money, but I couldn't hold on to it. The bill would come, a pipe would burst, all of these things. So every time I would get like an influx of money and something would happen, I'd say, see, I told you, like something in my ancestral line, I just can't seem to hold on to money. I just keep validating it. But then I looked at it and I was like, does that happen all the time? No. So why do I keep validating this story? Why don't I validate the times I do get an influx of money? When I started doing that, everything changed.
That's so good. And concept-wise, it seems simple enough. It can shift the mindset, find some root cause of why one thinks something, always happened to me or doesn't happen to me or whatever it is. So very interesting. Thank you. Yeah.
Simple, but also so deep because your
Yeah.
neural pathways and your automatic pilot is so deep. Your
Mm,
conditioned mind doesn't want to let it go because that's your safety. The only way to allow that is by deepening your trust within yourself.
mm,
The best things I could never have planned for. It
mm,
was like random chance encounters, an email, one person writing an article on me. I was just in alignment, in the
mhm,
flow, taking aligned action, and boom, the universe blew my mind. So when you believe in something bigger, it's
mhm,
easy to surrender and trust. But if you believe you're the one doing it all on your own and you have to control everything to be safe, it's really hard because I know, because I was very OCD before, control was my way of safety. I had to control everything. And if anything
right.
didn't go right, it was the end of the world. Now
Yeah.
it's so different. It's
Mm,
easy, but it's ingrained, right? It's like
right.
helping your conditioned mind to
Yeah.
know that you're your safety because you're never going to give up because you're
Mhm,
resilient and keep getting back up. This is happening for you, not to you. And that's
right.
like my main thing that I tell myself.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds amazing. And well, I mean, you've spoke at many different places, as you mentioned, different conferences and countries. Is there certain like trends, or do you see very similar reactions from audience and problems from audience? And everyone needs kind of the way, the help to break through within themselves.
That's what
Yeah.
I love about traveling and living in 12 countries and speaking at all these events around the world is that we're all the same. The same fears, worries,
Yeah.
doubts, anxiety, scarcity. We
Mm,
all are trying to fit into this box, but visionaries and innovators shatter the box and live outside of it. Nobody ever innovated from inside a box. And so what I find in everywhere I go, since I started my first contract when I was 16 in Tokyo, it's all the same. We all have these same insecurities. When we create inner power, not circumstantial power, I lived 36 years on external power. Didn't have very much inner power. I was looking for outside approval, outside validation. When my career was going good, I felt amazing. When it wasn't, then I felt like I was nothing. And, I
mm,
just was like this roller coaster. Everything was external power. But then you take that all away,
right.
which the universe completely did to me in 2016 and took everything away.
Yeah.
And then I forgot who I was. I
Mm,
started to morph into the people that were bullying me in Hawaii, thinking, what's wrong with me? I need to be more like them. I
mm,
started to do it. After I was 36 years old, after I had a crazy, incredible career, and
yeah.
I came home and I felt like nothing, I started to compromise myself until I realized, what am I doing?
Mm,
Why am I trying to fit into this box? I'm not here to fit into the box. And then
right.
that's why I spent 6 years cultivating that inner power.
Mm,
That inner power makes me unstoppable now. I know I can do anything. If I can support everybody else to do that, the world would be a completely different place. If you are so strong within yourself, you're
mm,
just going to want the best for everybody. But you can't do that if you don't have inner power, because every
right.
time you support them, that means you're less. Every
Right.
time you celebrate them, that means you're failing, right?
Mm,
And I used to be that
true.
person.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no, we're all winning. We're
Right.
all amazing.
Right.
We're all exactly who we're meant to be. Let's play our instrument in the orchestra and play it so well that together we make a beautiful symphony.
With all the experience in coming up to your platform, how do you first come up with the name Spiritual Billionaire?
So I used to be a very big spiritual martyr. Hence burnout, hence 5 miscarriages. I just kept giving till I bled. And that's why I couldn't make my business work. It was always a side business. Who am I to charge money to help people?
Mm,
How could I benefit off of someone else's pain? I should not become a millionaire if I'm helping people who are going through really traumatic things,
mhm.
because I should be Mother Teresa. And that was the programming that was inside of me. And so I
Sure.
sacrificed myself. It was for everybody. If I had anything else left, it was for me. I never had anything left. That's why I had chronic fatigue, sinus allergies, and miscarriages, right? And what's crazy is that 3 of those miscarriages, the message was so clear. After the first one, my brother told me they were having another baby right after I miscarried. The next one told me she was having another one. And then the last one, my brother told me they were having another one.
Oh my
Within
gosh.
like a week or a couple days after I miscarried. And so it
Wow.
was just like, wow, everybody's living their best lives and you keep sacrificing for everybody else. And that's amazing, but we're sacrificing ourselves. To be someone that cares so much and wants to give so much, there's got to be another way. And we're
Mm,
not here to kill ourselves and bleed dry. I realized every time I worked on myself and reprogrammed myself, more and more messages was come in that we
mm,
do get to have it all. And we get to do it through inspiration versus enabling. Yes, I did incredible things for my family, but I took their power from them. I didn't realize I took their power because I was the fixer. I would do it for them and I took their power. And so I felt powerful. I'm helping my family, but they relied on me for everything. And nobody wins because the patterns keep going on and we enable the situation. Then they're not making changes and I'm just fixing it all the time. I'm plugging the holes in the boat. And so that's the shadow side of caring so much. So what's another way spiritual billionaires could do it? We could do it through inspiration. I think about the mentors that inspire me, that are living their best life, that have healthy boundaries and standards, and they're still giving back, not killing themselves, living their best life at the same time. They're helping people, they're charging their worth so that they could also live their life. And being around them makes me feel incredible. Just being around them makes me feel like anything is possible. So then I was like, we can do that. And that's how Spiritual Billionaires came about. The world's going through so much. And I felt so helpless and hopeless to it. And then I was like, hang on a second. Taylor Swift can make one post and influence the world. If we build wealth, influence, and impact, we can make a massive difference. We can drop a boulder instead of a pebble or a grain of sand and make a difference. When we build wealth, I get to invest into businesses that inspire me. I get to invest into nonprofits that are changing the world. I get to invest in leaders that are actually going to do something. And so as spiritual billionaires, we now get to live our best life, but we actually get to make a bigger impact on the world. That's how the world transforms, not because it's broken, but because it's evolution. You know, one of my dreams is to create a healthy fast food restaurant where it's healthy wraps and stuff like that, but with good ingredients. Like I'm not going to compromise on the ingredients so that people can come and get a healthy option. Because that's one of the reasons why people have a hard time eating is because they're living crazy lives and the only food out there is horrible food that kills us. Once my business is to a certain point, I'm going to invest in, I'm going to find somebody that wants to open this healthy fast food chain that's going to go around the world, and I'm going to invest into them. And it's going to be their dream that I'm going to support. Together, we're going to bring healthy food to the world, you know, or there's so many ideas like grocery stores that have only like real food,
Good food.
not processed crap. I used to work out at this gym in Hong Kong called Everlast, my dream gym, and I've never found anything like it. I'm going to open a fitness place and one day I'll open a chain. I'll find someone that's inspired to run it and then I'll just invest into it so that I could bring this to the world, like make it easy for people to be healthy. And that's pretty much what my platform is. Make it easy. Like they can hop onto the platform. They can hear all of the people that inspire me, the speakers, modalities, everything. They experience it, embody it. And then when they embody it, it ripples into their family, into their community. And then we all become spiritual billionaires. And then we all create the world we desire to live in magic. It's a collaboration. I had a client in a dark place, successful, but everything else was falling apart. Even when I was at the top of my career in Hong Kong, because it was all external power, behind the scenes, I had depression, anxiety, all of these things. I never felt good enough. I felt like one day everybody's going to wake up and realize, who is this girl? And let's get her out of here. Everything was external power. We have crazy successful careers, but we can't enjoy it. So it was success without fulfillment. He had the same thing. We worked together. It took a lot for me to get here. But now I've created all the skills, tools, and the programming so I can help people not go through that. Help them take the shortcut. I've already done it. Help them to reprogram. And within like a couple weeks, he had already got his energy back. His testosterone levels had gone back to normal. His relationship shifted. And within 6 months, he got awarded top broker. And he also got an award for one of the up-and-coming leaders here in Hawaii. All of that shifted because we just removed the beliefs that were causing the crunchy, that were causing the pressure, that was causing the breakdown. Because I always thought that the higher you got, the easier it got. More power, money, recognition, influence, until that happened to me. And the higher I got, the more pressure. And that's why you see so many people crumble under pressure. They get all this fame, but it's all external power. And then the pressure crushes them. The benefit of clearing all of the things we did that cleared the burnout, helped his health, his relationship. He now has another baby with his wife. They're just this beautiful family. The side benefit is he started getting out of the blue emails for multi-million dollar deals. He magnetized his energy. And so there was one where someone had emailed him saying that so-and-so referred him and said I should work with him. And he met that person over a year ago at a random event that he didn't like, they'd never really stayed in touch. But now all of a sudden, out of the blue, the universe is bringing you together. And now you've done your first multi-million dollar deal. And now multi-million dollar deals became his new normal.
Right.
Because he removed the noise. You just got to remove the noise. Money and accolades become the byproduct. But if it's what you're chasing, you will kill it. It's that crazy shift. Everybody's got different hooks to unhook. And so it's just discovering what those hooks are, unhooking them, and then clearing the pipes so what's meant for you can come to you and you get more magic and opportunities. That's how everything dropped into my life. I knew I wanted to recode the hustle because that's also spiritual billionaires. I wasn't meant to kill myself, wake up at 5 a.m., exhaust myself, and never enjoy myself. I came home from Canada when you're on vacation, you realize how much you were hustling.
Yeah.
So I came back and I was like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. I am just going to listen to my truth and let my truth guide me. It says rest, I'm going to rest, even though I feel guilty, even though I feel like I'm killing my business. I'm not doing it the other way anymore. I'm not going to do any shoulds. I'm not going to do any have tos. It's just going to be alignment. And I know something's going to shift because that's what spiritual billionaires do. They do it through quantum leaps, not through force. So that whole week, I just listened to my truth and I'm like, should I watch this webinar? I was in a mentor's program. Should I watch this? Nope. Rest, watch TV. Do I want to post today? Nope. I want to rest. Do I want to, everything kept guiding me to resting. I ran my programs. Those sessions and the sessions I did for my clients were actually the most potent because I had more energy. I was so lit up because I helped them create more shifts than ever before. Now that's what I do for all my clients. I just knew something was going to drop in. If I could reprogram the hustle, I'll become that spiritual billionaire. The universe will co-create because I'm in alignment. And that's when I got the invitation to speak at the World Trade Center in New York Climate Week that Friday. I got the message, are you available to come? And I was like, holy crap. Like I dreamt of speaking on stages, and New York I thought was going to be the last stage that I was going to have to build up to. And it was the first. It came from recoding the hustle and all the programming. If that had come in when I was hustling, I would think I always have to hustle for these things to come in. But spiritual billionaires don't do it that way. They do it through big, bold moves. The opportunities came through alignment to my truth and taking crazy leaps, speaking a truth I never would before. Once I help my clients do that, the same thing happens with them too. The opportunities, like things they never dreamed of are like dropping in. That's how the Times Square billboard happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's amazing. Tell me more about that.
Like I look at my life and I'm like, okay, where is it crunchy? Where would I like to have more energy? You feel it. You know it. Like if you sat with it right now, you'd be like, oh, I'd love to have more time. You know what it is. Intuitively, you'll feel it. I was recoding, unhooking my worth from my business. And then all of a sudden that week, I got the email. Is this real? Is this a scam? It was real. And I'm like, this is insane. Those things just keep happening over and over. I've done this business for 2.5 years. I've gotten far because of the alignment that then brings opportunities in. Same way that I helped my clients get those multi-million dollar deals. It wasn't like, let's manifest those multi-million dollar deals. It was, let's remove the doubts, fears, anxieties, worthiness issues, hustle, old beliefs, remove all of that and let the universe blow our mind.
What are your personal qualities and traits you feel play the most significant role to your success?
One of my clients told me she went to watch City of Angels again. She felt called to watching it. And so she did. And she's like, the thing that stuck out in that scene, in that movie, was when Meg Ryan was fighting for one of her patients' lives. She's trying to keep him alive, holding his heart, pumping it. And then he passes. She said, we're fighting for people's lives, but who are we fighting with? And then you see like the angel there taking the soul home, right? And it's not about religion or spirituality. It's about something bigger, unexplainable. When you lean into that, knowing that that's bigger than you and you can kind of like trust fall into this. And so you're safe. There's a peace that you have where your mind can let go of control. And once you let go, that's where the magic happens. When you know that there's something bigger, that you're not doing it all on your own, that you're here to take aligned action and execute it. And then whatever you want to call it, God, source, universe, divine gets to drop things in and blow your mind, then magic starts showing up in your life. It just becomes fun. I used to be stressed all the time. And I used to always think that I needed to figure everything out. And you know how you think and you try and figure it out and it never turns out the way you think. So why was I wasting all that energy? You know what I mean? Now I don't think, like, I tune in and I feel like, you know it. You feel what you want to do. Your gut will tell you, your intuition, whatever you want to call it. It'll say, call so and so, show up here, go there, send this email, do this podcast, rest, exercise. It'll tell you all those things. Just do what it tells you to do without thinking about, if I do this, then this will happen. Just do it knowing the next piece will show up. Something will make it show up. I don't know what, but something will show up. I keep saying, follow the breadcrumbs. It doesn't matter if the breadcrumb's a big one or a small one or a rotten one. Just keep following the breadcrumbs and you'll get there. Just never stop.
Yeah.
The only time you fail is if you stop.
So true. Thank you. So inspiring. And just one last kind of casual one. It's like one fun fact about yourself that people usually don't know about and you can share.
I'm crazy and I love to be crazy. When I was younger, it was a bad thing. They're like, Jocelyn, get your head out of the clouds. Now, all of this happened in my life because my head is in the clouds. Just like to have so much fun. I'm still a work in progress. There's always layers that we get to uncover. Each time a trigger comes up, it's an opportunity to make it easier every time we shift it. It's an evolution over our lifetime. We're never going to stop, and I wouldn't want to. I'd be bored. If I got to the top of the mountain and I was like, they're like, okay, now you stay here on the top of the mountain. I'd be like, what? No, I want to climb another mountain. So now it's just like, enjoy the climb, because once you get there, you're going to want to climb another. But we keep thinking, if we get to the top, we're going to be happy. That's Groundhog Day, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. I still have your Hong Kong photo book on my coffee table for everybody to see, so I could have a piece of Hong Kong. Beautiful memories through your photos.
Thank you for your support with that.
Thank
so good.
you.